It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.
And so, goodbye. Mwah. And good night. Bang!
Settle! Because I'm better than you, and you know it. Yes, sir, what the Rock is cooking.
Now welcome to Off the Mats with Alex Lowe's and Josh Silverberg.
There we go. All right, everybody. You're listening and watching us on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I can see how this show is going to go today if I don't even know how to unmute myself. Welcome, everybody, to Off the Mat. I guess right now, the only wrestling talk show here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I feel very slow right now. It's weird. Hey, let me shake off the cobwebs here. I'm Josh Silverberg. Of course, with me is always my tag team partner down in Florida, Mr. Alex Lowe's. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. I got my Hollywood Rules shirt on today. I got this from Hogan's Beach Shop. This is actually one of my favorite designs because it's got the blue flames.
That's the old WCW shirt from way back when in '97. I went with Morrow today, in honor of him because, I know he just left
the
company. But welcome, of course, to Off the Mat here every Saturday at 12 o'clock right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
So much to get into, so little time, a lot of topics, including AEW All Out recap, which we will get into shortly. And I cannot wait to talk about that one. It was a fantastic event.
Absolutely. But, of course, Alex, before we begin our show, we always got to do, our usual stuff we do for the network here. And if you're not downloading the app, you need to download the app now. It is free, okay? So you don't have to worry about paying for anything. It is an awesome app. It gives you our show schedule. It gives you all the different shows we have on the network. It has articles, profiles, everything you need. And, of course, if you miss our show, you can always rewatch it on the app. If you have an iPhone, just go to the Apple Store and type in Worldwide Sports. If you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store and type in Worldwide Sports. Of course, also don't forget to go at worldwidesports.com. You can check us out on our website. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, Snapchat, YouTube. We are on every major platform going on right now. And if you're not just, if you like other stuff other than wrestling, we have the Wise Guys, the Ryan Hickey Show, Below the Mic, Down to the Wire, the New York Jets Show, the BS Sports Show, the Sports Hit List, which is a phenomenal show if you haven't checked it out yet. It's great. Caged in MMA. So many different shows we have for you that you could check out. And, of course, don't forget the Weekend Crunch every Saturday night with Errol Marks and former NFL player Eric Coleman. They host that every Saturday night, so you definitely want to tune into that. I only know that because they use my Zoom, so that's how I know that they're on every Saturday night. So, but, of course, you want to check out. We have so many different topics and shows that you guys can check and girls can check out. If you're not just a wrestling fan, there's all different sports and stuff like that are out there. And, like I said, we're only growing. We're getting bigger and better every single day, and it's just going to keep on progressing to where we know where it's going to take us, and it's going to be amazing. And, of course, Alex and I are here for the long haul as well. All right, Alex, let's jump right into it. As my cat literally jumps into my room with me. It's funny. Hi, Pedro. Let's jump right into it, man. All Out. Definitely an interesting show for sure. I thought it was a good show. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was in the middle. I'd give it a 7 or 8, a 7.5 out of 10. My personal opinion on it. What were your thoughts on the show as a whole?
So The show was very well done. Everything, including the graphics, the opening. The only concern I have is the Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara match. That I don't know. It scared everybody. It scared me, including me as a fan. When
Have continued.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to continue it because when his head hit the pavement and bounced off the pavement, I was like,
Alex, it shouldn't have continued. And the fact they let him climb the barrier, they let him climb the lift to jump off of that, I thought was extremely dangerous because he almost fell twice.
it was. I think that was a bad move. It was uncalled for. It was an unnecessary move. I think they should have just stopped the match early on after Hardy hit the pavement. And I'm happy he's okay. I'm happy he's going to have a safe recovery. But that was very frightening.
Yeah, it was extremely frightening. And when you see something like that, because people were confused, they were like, "Oh, why is the show doing what it's doing?" I actually think Sammy Guevara actually took the bump at the end because he knew that Matt was hurt and they wanted to get the finish to where it needed to get to. I just did not think it was the right move by AEW, but look, Matt came on the air on Dynamite on Wednesday and said he was fine, but Matt's wife, Reby Hardy, was not happy about it. She was mad at AEW, but of course she's been very outspoken in her past. So I thought that match was to me. Of course, but there's a reason why it was asked because of the situation that arose from everything. I thought Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks match was really phenomenal.
Yeah, that was a fantastic tag team match. The way it played out was great. I love how it was back and forth. There was a lot of energy between both tag teams. And even taking it to the outside floor was fun to watch, too, and what they were doing out there. And I'm starting to notice that Jungle Boy, he's getting more athletic with going off the top rope, the bends and jumps off the top rope. So I can see that he's developing more there, and that's great.
Luchasaurus. I mean, look, Jungle Boy, Jack Perry's done a great job, but I mean, Luchasaurus with his size, I mean, this is what he did when he was in Lucha Underground. He did he did all of this, and to me, I think the styles meshed perfectly with the Young Bucks and Nam. I thought it was really good. I very much enjoyed I didn't think it was the best tag team match. It was a good one, but of course, FTR is they're basic. They're an old school tag team, and with Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, look, it wasn't as good as the Young Bucks match at where did they do that match? I can't remember where they did that match and what pay-per-view it was, but it was a good match. It was good storytelling. It looks like Kenny Omega is going to go back to being the cleaner. He even when he walked past the Young Bucks.
He even said, "I'm done. Like I'm taking off for the night. I'm heading out."
What I saw out of the whole thing was, Alex, is when he said it's time to clean out the place. Which is reference to when he was the cleaner in New Japan as the heel. And if you watch Being the Elite, you saw at the end of the Being the Elite, the BTE episode, he had the cleaner look with the sunglasses on. And then when Anna Page fell over, he
had the table. It looked like he was gonna hit him with the table, and then he kind of hesitated, put the table down, and then just left.
But again, and we'll talk about it when we recap our Dynamite episode. But it clearly looks like Kenny's going back to being singles, and it looks like the Young Bucks could be joining Kenny as well with the way they acted this past week. But we'll see. I thought Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida was a really good match. Is exactly what I expected. I thought it really showed the true skills of both wrestlers. And now you're going to see Thunder Rosa is going to be defending the NWA Championship on Dynamite this coming Wednesday. And I think that's awesome. I think the cross promotion idea is a great idea by both Billy Corgan and Tony Khan. And I just thought it was an excellent match.
Yeah, it definitely was. And it was fun to watch. I loved seeing Shida and Thunder Rosa. They kept taking each other to the mat, so that was cool to see how they were able to use their background and everything and try to submit one another. It was very cool to see that how they were developing in the mat style. and I just love how they're bringing new things each week. How AEW is doing this, it's great.
For sure. And then you had the Mimosa Mayhem match, Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. I thought Jericho should have won it. Be it as it may, it looks like Jericho and, again, Jake Hager are going to be doing a tag team, which we'll recap that on Dynamite. I thought the match was okay. I was disappointed in the finish. I thought Jericho should have won. I think Cassidy's better when there's a crowd. And I know there was a crowd, but it's not like a real crowd. It's only limited people. So, to me, it is what it is, I guess, Alex.
And then the main event, Jon Moxley defeated MJF to retain the AEW championship. That was a really good match. It was physical. It was right down the middle. It was perfect. I love how my prediction kind of came true there. He snuck in the paradigm shift and was able to capitalize a victory over MJF. And
for sure.
And now, speaking of Jon Moxley has passed Jericho's all-time title reign of 182 days. Moxley now holds the title at now 196 plus days as the AEW World Champion. So what are your thoughts on that, Josh?
I mean, my thoughts on it is, look, I mean, as somebody that came over from WWE, you knew he was going to be a spark that AEW needed. They basically told him, all right, you're coming over. We're going to give you the bull by the horns. You need to take it and run with it. And he's ran with it. Clearly, I think the big picture of the whole situation is this. I think eventually what they're going to do is they're going to have, I think Kenny Omega is going to become a heel. And then I think that is the guy that's going to take the championship off of Jon Moxley. I think he's going to be the heel Kenny Omega. I think the Young Bucks are going to join him. And then I think that's how I think what they'll do is they'll be like New Japan, where they will take over the tag team division. They'll take over they'll win the heavyweight championship. And I think that's the route I think they're going to go with this. So I think they're setting up for Moxley Omega 2. That's what I think they're going to do, and I think Kenny Omega is going to be the one that takes the championship off of him. So we'll see how that goes. All right, Alex, let's get right into our next topic, man, and we got
NXT Super Tuesday 2.
Yeah, and I thought it was a good show. I thought the championship – I love the idea that they opened up the show with the championship match.
Yeah, that was a great move by NXT. Two former Bullet Club members going at each other for the ultimate prize, the NXT Championship. The match was amazing. Great countering and execution from Finn Balor in the match. It was back and forth. Adam Cole was great with his striking ability. And Balor always is quick and agile. He never messes around. He's always in the zone. And he's willing to go to great lengths, even when he's injured, to win the title, because he kind of tweaked his knee a couple times in the match.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, I like the idea that they had that match start. My thinking is they only got, I believe it was 858,000 in viewership, and AEW reached 1 million. So, I mean, Cole Balor is money. If you're not getting the viewer, I mean, first off, I think NXT should move to Tuesdays anyway. I said that on the show last week, Alex. I think NXT should move to Tuesdays or Thursdays. I mean, I don't know how you don't get over 900,000 in viewership.
I don't know that's
the rest going on.
Exactly.
And with Cole Balor, I don't know what NXT has to do. I don't know. I thought this was their opportune time. You had that. You had the steel cage match between Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez, and it looks like Mercedes is going to be moving on because there's been reports that she's rumored to be in the what's the group of the guys and girls that keep coming in to all the shows that keep rating the shows. I can't remember what's the group name, Alex. The one that with the people they wear like the black mask.
Oh, Retribution. Retribution.
I mean, there's reports that she's in Retribution with like Mia Yim and Dominik Dijakovic. So it looks like she's getting called up because Robert Stone kicked her out of the brand. And I mean, I don't know what NXT has to do. They had Austin Theory versus Bronson Reed, which I thought was a really good match. I like what they're doing with Bronson Reed. They're really making him into a powerhouse in NXT.
Oh yeah, they're really building him up, and I love how they're just they're just continuously trying to make Bronson Reed look strong and good. And I loved how this match ended with the finish. For a minute there, I thought Austin Theory was going to be able to lift Bronson Reed up into a power slam or some type of finisher, but he lost the leverage, and then it just went all downhill from there for Austin Theory.
I mean, I look at it like this, man. I say this in regards to how NXT has to keep doing it. They got to keep developing new stars, and I think Austin Theory going back to NXT was a great move. I think it was a good idea by them because look, they had him in Zelina Vega's stable, then he left, went to Seth Rollins' stable, he left. I mean, let him. The reason why they rushed him to the main roster was because Andrade was hurt for his WrestleMania match, so they had to have a replacement. That wasn't the official plan for him in the future. I thought it was a good idea that they let him, like I said, they let him stay in NXT, let him develop more. He was so big in Evolve, Austin Theory.
Yeah,
but
he
I
definitely
like
was.
dealing with guys. They're getting new. Next week you're going to have Damian Priest versus Timothy Thatcher, and I thought Thatcher should have been in that ladder match in the first place. It looks like they're going with the Velveteen Dream Kushida rivalry. It looks like they're going to go with that. Velveteen Dream literally comes off looking like a douche. That stupid. He's got that stupid chin beard thing. It's dyed blonde. And it looks so ridiculous. Also, did you see? I have to bring this up to you. You would like this. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember Dominic Mysterio when he was younger. He had blonde hair.
Oh yeah, he did. That's what it looked like.
No. So the joke was because Miro debuted on AEW, Rusev debuted, and somebody wrote because Miro has blonde hair now. Wow, Dominic looks totally different now. You know what I mean?
I get it. Because Miro has the blonde hair a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, whoa, like, wow, somebody went through puberty quick. Holy smoke. Like I said, I think Balor winning the championship was the right call. I like how they respected each other at the end too.
Yeah, backstage with Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
That was cool. That was a cool idea. I like it, and I have to point out, you pointed this out to me before the show, Alex. I like how Wade Barrett's
on commentary with Vic Joseph.
Yeah, I love how the two of them have been together. I think they have done a great job together. I think they
got good chemistry so far, and you can hear it in their voice. You can hear it in the commentary, and with all the matches that they put together for the NXT events, it's going well for them so far.
He was very good in NWA. Barrett, Stu Bennett is his real name. He did a very good job in NWA, and then I guess NXT saw an opening. Okay, they just got to get rid of Beth Phoenix. Ugh. Oh, Beth is horrible. I can't with her voice. Oh no! Look out! I can't anymore. It's like so annoying because what it does is you have great chemistry between Vic Joseph and
Wade Barrett.
And it's like she pops in out every now and then. It's like, ugh. And I respect Beth Phoenix, but it's like she's really bad at this. She's like horrible at this. And she's probably not going to come on our show now, probably ever, because I said that, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? But also, Alex, really quick, before we get to our next topic with AEW, tell the fans how they can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and our phone number, too.
Okay, so you can check us out on Facebook and Twitter at WWSRN, off the mat WWSRN. That is off the mat WWSRN for Facebook and Twitter. And our phone line is open. It is 727-888-4295. Feel free to call us, ask us any questions, comments, your thoughts on the topics that we are discussing during the show.
Awesome. And I think a topic that somebody needs to talk about is, Josh, why did you pick that picture of you looking dapper at your wedding as your main picture for the show page. So I think everybody likes to ask you. Like, I remember Errol had a story with me when he goes, "Why did you send that picture of you and your wedding?" Because I look dapper, dude. I'm in a tux, man. I mean, I look great. I don't know, because you have Alex with the selfie, and then you have me with the tuxedo on. It's like, so it's like, oh, sorry. I guess, it is what it is. But all right, Alex, let's get to our next topic, man. Let's talk about NXT. I mean, AEW. Let's talk about Dynamite Wednesday night, and there were a couple of surprises. Of course, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Rusev,
Miro, yeah, that was cool to see him show up on Dynamite. I kind of had a feeling he was going to show up because he's one of the biggest stars in the wrestling industry, and he kept hinting on it on his Twitch a little bit, like his Twitch Live, where he plays video games and stuff. And my favorite moment from that was the crowd's reaction. The crowd's reaction was great. They were chanting "Miro Day, Miro Day," and so he's like, that has a catchy ring to it. So that was a cool way to make your presence known in AEW. And then he kind of made fun of the brass ring speech for WWE, kind of made fun of WWE there, which was cool. It's fun,
yeah. I look at it like this. I mean, talk about making it's just
making
another
a statement,
guy on the roster. That's just another guy on the roster that, excuse me, I'm sure WWE fans are going to go, oh, you're just signing all the former has-beens from WWE. And then I will rebuttal that to you, and I'll say they're not has-beens. They weren't utilized the proper way. The funny thing is, Rusev was $1 million idea. Mm-hmm. The fans loved it, and WWE screwed the pooch. And
they missed a boat with that one.
Yeah, big time. I mean, you could have taken it to so many different levels, and instead what they decided to do was they decided to say, nah, we're just going to, leave it the way it is. And then, to me, I'm just trying to figure out him and Kip Sabian met each other. I guess they met I never knew that they were in a relationship. Now I was like, he's Kip Sabian's best man.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's like if I shook hands with you, Alex, and then you may be the best man because I shook hands with you. Or maybe I met you at a McDonald's drive-thru or something. You know what I mean? So, but it's just, I thought it was a good idea. I'm curious where it goes. I'm curious where they let Miro go with this whole thing.
I want to see Miro in action in AEW. I'm waiting to see that. Hopefully he'll be next in line for the AEW title or TNT championship somewhere.
Yeah, let him build up to that for sure. You got to let him have a couple of matches. We know how he is in the ring. We know what he could do on the mic. We know how his character is. I'm curious where they go with him in AEW. They might take kind of a piece of what he was with Rusev and put it to his character in AEW. But we'll see. Also, the Young Bucks super kicking Alex Marvez, man.
Yeah.
It's like kind of a heelish move, I thought. And it looks to me like they're going to – I said, Alex, it looks like they're joining Kenny, and they're going to be heels, the three of them. It looks like they were in New Japan.
And then even Kenny, when he's getting into the car, he said, let's go back to the way things were.
Yeah, that was at All Out, and then they did the interview with JR. They did the interview with JR and Tony Schiavone. Schiavone interviewed Hangman Page. Page wants to get the team back together and get the belts back.
And then Kenny just wants to go his own route as a singles competitor.
Oh, yeah, Kenny wants to go his own route and do what he wants to do. He said it was a great run, but it's time to end it and go back to the way they anticipated me when I came into AEW. Because look, what he said in the interview, it was indeed true. He said they, Kenny said he was supposed to come into AEW, be the Golden Goose, be what he was in New Japan. He was the number one superstar in the world at the time, next to probably Okada, as the best wrestler in the planet. And so far in AEW, it's been very hit and miss with him, in my opinion. And I think when he was a heel in New Japan, if you don't remember what Brian Pillman was like during the Attitude Era for WWE, okay, Brian Pillman was like a psychotic nut and did things his way and didn't listen to anybody. Well, that was kind of what Kenny Omega was with his promos and the look and everything like that. That's what he needs to go back to. This Kenny Omega, I find him to be, look, he's still, I had him top 5 in my list as best wrestlers in the world, but he's not what he was in New Japan. He's dry, he's stale, in my opinion. Now, he's had some great matches, Alex, with AEW, but don't you think they need to go back to that New Japan route?
I definitely think they need to go back to that route and just go back to how things were with him in New Japan and kind of bring that over to AEW a little bit and give Kenny Omega the chance to build that up and to connect with the fans that way.
Because when he was a heel with the Young Bucks, and if you go back to watch when the Young Bucks were the junior tag team champions in New Japan, they were douchebags. They were annoying, pompous, you know what? The whole group was, and I said, oh well, you know, it's interesting that they're going to go this route, and you know, we'll see. But also, we didn't even get to the FTR promo, but we have a few more minutes before we go to break. And I thought the FTR promo was good. They basically mocked everybody in the tag team division in AEW. I guess we don't know who's the fourth member of the Four Horsemen group yet. It's still Shawn Spears and FTR, but Tully Blanchard's been wearing that Horseman jacket. My thought was, I've noticed Cody has been changing on his Instagram stuff. He's looking more heelish stuff on his Instagram page. If you haven't checked it out, maybe he's the one. I don't know. I give up at this point. Did you like FTR's promo, Alex?
Oh yeah, I thought their promo was spot on. It really draws some heat with the whole tag team division. So hopefully we'll see somebody jump in next in line for the AEW World Tag Team Championship belts. And then the one of the most interesting things I saw on this week's Dynamite was Lance Archer is the number one contender now for the AEW World Championship because he won the Battle Royal at All Out. So we're gonna see Lance Archer face Jon Moxley for the championship, and hopefully we'll get a similar match to all their rivalries in New Japan.
Yeah, I mean, the thing of it is that they did their Texas Death Match, and the thing about the Texas Death Match at Wrestle Kingdom was New Japan doesn't do anything violent. They don't go that route, because if you go past a look at past Texas Death Matches, it's way more violent. I'm surprised that Moxley didn't acknowledge the old rivalry. He didn't even say it in his promo. I thought he would have, but I mean, we'll see. I think Archer is the next in line. I also think we're going to see a Wardlow MJF rivalry in the works. I think that's what's going to happen next. If you notice,
yeah, because MJF was like, "Do we have a problem?" And he kind of like looked at MJF, and then he's like, "Nope, yeah, we don't have." Yeah,
I'm curious if we go that route with the If we go that route, I think we will eventually. So we'll see, and you know, going forward and everything like that. You know, Brody Lee also had a very good match with Dustin Rhodes. I thought that was a good match. I hated how the ending of AEW was. They did that breaking news with that stupid TV show that they're making with Cody as a judge on it. Like, I thought that was so dumb.
Well, when I heard announcement, I thought it was just going to be another promo. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Right, it was just another stupid TV show, and I was just like, ugh. I didn't even understand it. I just thought it was so ridiculous, and I said, oh God, I said this is what I thought this is what the breaking news is. I mean, literally. I thought it was going to be they were signing somebody. I thought Cody was maybe saying, I'm joining this group. Maybe he was going to turn his back around. He would wear one of those Four Horsemen jackets. No, it was Cody as a judge on a TV show. Like, I don't care. I wanted to sing the song. I don't care. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it was such you didn't engage me in it. And I hate they ended Dynamite 4 minutes early for that promo. I don't know. I mean, I thought Dynamite was good. I enjoyed NXT more this week because, of course, the championship match and the cage match between Mercedes Martinez and Rhea Ripley. But I mean, we'll see how it is going forward with both shows. I think, like I said, I know Dynamite is moved to Thursday again this week, and NXT is back to Wednesday this week. So it feels like they haven't faced each other in. It's almost been, I think, a month. Mm-hmm. Is the last time the two were on at the same time. So again, Dynamite's on Thursday this week, and NXT's on Wednesday this week.
I'm gonna say AEW was a better show for me this week just because of the pay-per-view and then Dynamite, how Dynamite played out, and then the surprise appearance from Miro.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Khan said there was going to be a billion surprises, and there was literally only one surprise. So I don't know. I guess whatever. I hope that he didn't mean the surprise was the stupid TV show that Cody's going to be the judge of. Ridiculous. All right, man. It's time to take a break. When we come back, we are going to get into this week in wrestling history, and we are going to talk about New Japan as well. The G1 Climax, it's starting up. We're going to give our predictions, who we think is going to win, and so on and so forth. This is Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We'll be right back.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Everybody's got a price. Rest in peace.
Welcome back to Off the Mat with Alex Lowe's and Josh Silverberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Off the Mat. I'm Alex Lowe's here with my co-host Josh Silverberg, and now we are going to get into this week in wrestling history, which is a very, very interesting one. This one is WCW Fall Brawl 1999. And what a good way to start off this week in wrestling history, because it's that time of year where we're getting into fall and when they used to have these events for WCW. So this was Sunday, September 12th, 1999. The attendance was 7,491 at the Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So the first match was Billy Kidman and Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio Jr. taking on Shaggy 2 Dope, Vampiro, and Violent J in a 6-person tag match. Second match was Lenny Lane versus Kaz Hayashi in a WCW Cruiserweight Championship, in which Lenny Lane defeated Kaz Hayashi. Number 3 was Brian Knobbs and Hugh Morris, who defeated Dean Malenko and Shane Douglas in a no disqualification tag match. Number 4 was Rick Steiner versus Perry Saturn for the WCW World Television title. Number 5 was Berlin defeated Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Number 6 was Booker T and Stevie Ray defeated Barry Windham and Kendall Windham for the WCW World Tag Team titles. Number 7 was Sid Vicious defeats Chris Benoit for the WCW United States title. And then number 8 was Goldberg defeating Diamond Dallas Page. And number 9 was the main event, Sting, who defeated Hulk Hogan for the WCW World Heavyweight title. And I actually gave a sneak peek of that match on my Instagram story. And I
believe that was when Sting turned heel.
Yeah, that was when Sting turned heel.
He beat up Hogan at the end with the bat, and Bret Hart too, right? Bret Hart came out, I believe, and then Lex Luger came out, and
that's when Hogan brought back the red and yellow.
Yes, that was when Sting turned heel. That was I remember that now. That was kind of started to get to the downfall of WCW, where management was all over the place and nobody knew. There was no real direction as to what was going on, and politics in the back, and could have been so much more. I thought Sting as a heel was interesting, but nevertheless, that's an interesting one. I remember that one because I just remember when Hogan thought Sting was going to hit Luger with the bat, and he said he hits Hogan with the bat, and then Bret Hart came out, and Bret Hart got beat up, and it was like, oh, yeah. I mean, that was it. WCW in a nutshell when they were on the down slope for sure to WWE. But some of the matches sounded good. Like, I never knew Dean Malenko was with Shane Douglas. I didn't even know that. I didn't know.
And then Vampiro was in there. Booker
T
snuck
in there.
Booker T and Stevie Ray. Harlem Heat, yep.
Yep, the recent Hall of Famers, or as I call them, the fake wrestling Hall of Fame, because there is no Hall of Fame. There's no building.
No.
None. There is no building. So it's a fake Hall of Fame. Until they get a real building, it's fake. It's phony. It's nothing. So, I mean, yeah. So that's a good one, Alex. That's great. All right, man. Let's get right into it. Let's get to New Japan, and let's
the start of the G1 climax.
Let's start the G1, which is next week, and I'll go through. It's funny. I open up all these.
I actually have it in front of me here. So A Block, Kota Ibushi,
yep.
Jeff Cobb, Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, Will Ospreay's back, Shingo Takagi, Minoru Suzuki, Tai Chi. Jay White is making his return in this G1 climax. Yujiro Takahashi, and then the B Block. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Juice Robinson, Hiroki Goto, Toru Yano, Yoshihashi, Tetsuya Naito, Sonata, Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta, and Evil.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I wanted to bring up this stat to you, Alex, and I wanted to get your opinion on it really quick when my computer decides to load. So, since 2012, which is the year they started doing the G1s, I mean, not doing the G1s, they've been doing the G1s forever, but they started giving out the winners, they started giving them the championship matches. And they always took their championship match at Wrestle Kingdom. So, this started back in 2012, and I'm going to read this back to you. Okada won it in 2012, lost to Hiroshi Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom 7. Tetsuya Naito won it in 2013. He then lost to Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 8. Okada won it again in 2014. He lost to Tanahashi again in 2014 at Wrestle Kingdom 9. Hiroshi Tanahashi won it in 2015. He lost to Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 10. Kenny Omega won it in 2016. Lost to Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 11. Tetsuya Naito won in 2017, lost to Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 12. Hiroshi Tanahashi won it in 2018, beat Kenny Omega for the championship at Wrestle Kingdom 13, and then last year Kota Ibushi won it, lost to Okada at Wrestle Kingdom 14. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So out of those 8, hold on, I don't know how to count today, Alex. Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's 8. Okay, just wanted to confirm it was 8. So out of the 8 times that the winner of the G1 has won and gone on to face the champion at Wrestle Kingdom, only one has won it, and that was Hiroshi Tanahashi beating Kenny Omega in 2018. And, you start to wonder, is there a curse on this whole entire thing? If you win, is it, you know what I mean? So... You notice there's a lot of Tanahashi and Okada. That's the one I got from this whole thing. So, Alex, in your mind, who do you think? Well, I'll ask you this: which block is better? Do you think Block A is better, or do you think Block B is better?
I'm gonna say Block A is better because they have a lot of heavy hitters, hard contact wrestlers, including Minoru Suzuki, and then Tomohiro Ishii, and then Jeff Cobb. So it's gonna be a stretch for Block B. But Block B even has some great competitors too. They have Evil, they have Sonata, they have Goto, and then they have Tanahashi. So I think it's gonna be very close between the A and B block. But who I see standing out the most from the A and B block would be Evil, and then the other person that stands out in the person that stands out in the A block would be Will Ospreay.
For me, I think Block B is the better one because it's got the heavyweight champion in it, Tetsuya Naito. And again, you said it's got Sonata, it's got Evo in it, it's got Kenta coming back. Hiroki Goto, Juice Robinson is back. You got Hiroshi Tanahashi, who's won it a couple of times. So, and Zack Sabre Jr. doing his thing as well. So I like the Block B more. In regards to who I think can come out of each block, I think Block A for me, I'm going to go Okada. I know it's boring, but I think he's a guy that's had a rough year this year, kind of. I think they want to give him some sort of momentum and to have him in the finals. Block B for me. I'm going to go with a surprise. I'm going to say Kenta. I'm going to say Kenta wins it for Block B, and I'm going to say Kenta's going to win. I think Kenta's going to be the one that wins the entire G1. And I think they're going to set up a promo between Kenta and Tetsuya Naito. That's what I think is going to be. Who do you think is going to come away with this whole thing, Alex?
I think the person that will come away with the whole thing, that I think it's going to come down to what you said, Kenta, and then Naito. I'm trying to see where Naito. Oh yeah, Naito's in the B block, and he's the 11th entry, and Kenta is the 2nd entry. So
yeah, you had Will Ospreay coming out of the A block. I know that you said Will Ospreay is going to win the A block.
Yeah, Ospreay will win the A block, but I don't think he's going to get that far. We'll see what happens. You never know. They could totally go a different route.
I mean, if he wins the A block, isn't that him going far then? Because then he's in the finals.
Yeah, if he wins the A block, but we'll just have to see how that plays out. And
I think I'm more excited about the fact that a lot of these guys are coming back. I think it's nice to see.
It's nice to see Ospreay back. It's nice to see Jay White back in there.
It's nice to see Jeff Cobb coming over. It's nice to see Juice Robinson back. It's nice to see Kenta back. And, I think what it does is it opens up the roster a little more because now you're not getting the same matches every single week, which is what's been, of course, the Achilles heel with New Japan. Listen, since they've come back, it's been awesome to see. The problem is
it's just like the same people every other week.
They're limited on their roster because some guys – and it's like Jon Moxley's not in the tournament. So for me, when you look at that, I say to myself, oh, okay. I look back on it and I say, well, he had a great time last year doing it, and he put on a great performance in the G1. So I know it's supposed to start on Saturday, September 19th. So the first matches they have lined up, Will Ospreay will be against Yujiro Takahashi. Jeff Cobb is going to go up against Taichi. Tomohiro Ishii is going to go up against Minoru Suzuki, and Shingo Takagi against Jay White. So that's another one that's going to be interesting. I could see Shingo coming out too. And then the last one, the main event of that night, Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi, a rematch from the Wrestle Kingdom match they had where Okada won over Kota Ibushi. And then I'll get to the September 20th, which will be the next night. So I just wanted to give the opening first matches of what they have. So that's from the Block A for their first night. So then Block B, you're going to have Juice Robinson versus Yoshihashi, Toru Yano versus Sonata, Hiroki Goto versus Kenta. So that's that rivalry coming back to their match too at Wrestle Kingdom. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Evil, which is going to be really good. And then Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Tetsuya Naito in the main event. So I'm curious where they go with this. I'm excited for it because I'm just excited for the roster to get expanded.
Yeah, it's great to see that the roster is gonna be expanded, and I can't wait to see how this G1 Climax 30 turns out. I have high hopes that Ospreay wins the match the first night of the tournament against Yujiro, because he hasn't been back in a while, and he's kind of had a rough start.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. I'm wondering why they didn't put Hiromu in it, and even Taichi Shimura, because there's times when they'll put some of the juniors in the tournament, and they decided not to go that route this year. They decided to stick with let's just put the heavyweights in it, go from there. And what I take from this whole thing is that it looks like Will Ospreay is officially out of the junior division, and he is now officially in the heavyweight division, because if he was in the junior division, Alex, don't you think he wouldn't be in this tournament then?
Yeah, he would not be in this tournament, because I don't see any junior heavyweights in the tournament like that are listed.
There's none. There's none. I mean, that's the crazy thing about it is, and you look back on it and you say, wow, why aren't there any juniors in it? Well, I guess that's just the route they wanted to go this year. Also, Alex, we didn't even discuss. There's new junior tag team champions.
Yep. El Desperado and Kanemaru.
Yes. So Suzuki-gun now owns both the tag team championships and the junior tag team championships. So it's an interesting route they're going with. They're giving Suzuki-gun some gold. Also, Minoru Suzuki also has the
never open weight.
Beat Shingo Takagi at Summer Struggle. And, for the past couple of years, we've seen a lot of Bullet Club, and we've seen Chaos, and we've seen LIJ. And Suzuki-gun was kind of that forgotten group where they never won any championships. They were just a bunch of mid-card wrestlers, and they were nothing. And now it looks like they've gone the route of, hey, okay, now we're going to give them the gold, make them relevant. What's your thoughts on that, Alex?
I think it's a smart move to see something new, a new cycle of things, and I'm glad to see that Suzuki-gun has some gold around their waist finally, because it's been a long time coming for them, and it's taken them a while to get to this point, and they're finally at that point where they can move up as a team in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Absolutely, and with Kanemaru and El Desperado beating Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi in the finals, I think that's an interesting tag team that is going to really show in the junior tag team division. Look, I think the tag team division right now in New Japan is I've said this on the show multiple times, Alex. I don't think there's enough. I think that's why a team like the Authors of Pain, AOP would benefit from going to New Japan, but they have to stay healthy. It's just they're very stale, their tag team division. That's really what it comes down to is, with a lot of the, the Bullet Club guy, we know with GOD not being there, and it's just, the Birds of Prey even not being able, it's a lot of tough situations. That's why Tanahashi and Ibushi had to run the tag team division for a little bit. So, I mean, like I said, I think it's a good thing. What's your thoughts on the tag team division alone, Alex?
The tag team division right now for New Japan, it needs a lift off. It needs a better angle, a better way to make the tag team division more interesting. Because
there either, so it's kind of tough.
Cause it's kind of tough without all these big names that you normally see in the tag team division. So I saw while I was watching New Japan Road that they're trying to bring some of the Bullet Club members into the tag team division right now, the current Bullet Club members. And I that could, or it may or may not help the tag team division, but we just have to wait and see how that unfolds.
I don't think I don't think there's any solidified tag teams. Like there's just random tag teams that are made.
Yeah, they're just putting together random tag teams and throwing them in.
Just Robinson, that was a tag team that was just made. I know they're a group. They were in I think they were in Lifeblood together, but it's just a random kind of tag team. It's I don't know. I think the one tag team that I know has been together for a while is GOD. Other than that, there's really no tag team that I look at and I go, wow. Sanada and Evil were together for a while, but then, of course, Evil went to the Bullet Club, so they lost that in the tag team division. So I don't know. I think they got to get more creative. That's why a team like AOP.
Yeah, they definitely need to get more on the creative side with their tag team division. And
for sure. They
do. Have it stand out more. Have it to where it can catch more eye and attention from the fans, because right now the fans are really not into the tag team division at the most lately.
So, absolutely. All right, man. Let's get to it. We're already at that time. It is time for our finisher. Alex, go for it, man.
So my finisher is I'm trying to remember when it was, but it's a funny story. I went to Hogan's Beach Shop, and I guess because of the pandemic and everything, like, you're not allowed to stand in a store. You have to buy something or you have to leave. So I was just standing there looking at the products, and all of a sudden I hear like the phone ring in there, and the store owner picks up the phone, and I can hear him talking to what sounds like Hulk Hogan on the phone, because Hulk Hogan has cameras in his store, so he can literally see you from his house, like what he can see everybody in the store for like what they're doing, I guess. And I guess Hogan can. Yeah. It's because he got, like, someone, like, stole his shoe or something a long time ago, like a prop, like, that he had there, like a store prop that, like, no one can buy. It's something that he just has on display. And yeah, so I was just looking at the products in there, and I guess, like, the manager told me, like, you have to leave. Like, if you're not going to buy something here, you have to go. I'm sorry. And I understand that, but I understand it because it was during a COVID-19 and what we're in right now, and but at the same,
I don't like that.
But at the same time, it was kind of a low blow to me as a fan, a little.
Yeah,
bit.
I don't like that. That seems kind of douchey, because that's kind of to the point of, okay, I'm just browsing right now. If there's something I don't like, I'm not going to buy anything. I mean, why you? I understand with COVID-19, but I don't know. I just found that to be a little ridiculous. That sounds pushy to me. I wouldn't appreciate that.
Yeah, it was kind of a low blow as a fan, but I just shrugged it off and, just kept going.
Yeah, that's it, man. For me, my finishing move is, I'm curious if NXT decides to stick to the Tuesday schedule. I know they want to compete with AEW. I know they want to go that route. At the same time, AEW just broke 1 million viewership. And I think that's something NXT hasn't had. I don't think they are going to have it. I think they're better off just having it on a separate night. Look, you're not going to compete with it, clearly. It's time to just move on. Lick your wounds, run away. Not run away, but and just move on. And I think, in my opinion, when you look at the whole situation, it's a matter of, where does NXT, like I said, why aren't they getting that viewership?
Yeah, they need to get viewership. They need people to tune into their shows every week. Otherwise, there's no point to entertain or really draw attention to the wrestling industry, like where they're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems so ridiculous and so silly, because you look at it, NXT's not doing themselves any favors by trying to compete with AEW.
No.
It's good for the business. Just have it on separate nights. Have NXT on Thursday or Tuesday. Let AEW stick to Wednesdays. That's it. To go that route, do it that way. Because honestly, when you look at it too, it just seems like too, AEW just keeps getting more and more additions to their roster. And I think they're going to be a better product for it. You just don't want to make sure that the rosters are too deep, because then you're going to not have enough for guys and girls on the roster. But at the same time, who knows? Alex, I just started this. Maybe that person that tried to kick you out of the store, maybe that was the McDonald's person.
It might have been. It might have been.
That might have been the one that rushed out of there.
But the cool thing, when I went and bought this shirt there, the cool thing is they had they showed the store this person that was working there, the store clerk. He brought out Andre's belt, the belt that him and Hogan fought for. Like, he brought out this is like the actual belt. It's not a replica or anything. And I could tell because it had like fingerprints on it. It looked used. It looked like it had been sitting around for a long time. And
now, I was supposed to go, and I was supposed to go to Mania this year. I was supposed to go with friends of mine, and I was supposed to go to the Hogan Beach Shop in Orlando, which is supposedly supposed to be the bigger one.
Yeah, that's the bigger store. The one I went to is in Clearwater. It's in like a shopping center. Yeah, it's in a shopping center.
Yeah, so the one in Orlando is supposed to be huge. I think there's supposed to be like more stuff in that one. So you have to go there and check it out and tell me how it is at some point.
I definitely will. It was cool because he had that, and then he also pulled out a Jeff Jarrett belt that had NWO sprayed on it.
Oh, because Jeff Jarrett was in the NWO for like a day. It was like a day.
A day?
Like, yeah, I'm being sarcastic, but yeah. All right, Alex. Man, listen, it's a pleasure. Also, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, download our app. It is free. Type in on the Apple Store or on the Google Play Store, Worldwide Sports Radio. Type that in, and the app is free. You get all the show content, repeats of our show if you missed it, our profiles, our show schedule, articles that we have written. We have, again, not just here on Off the Mat. You have Below the Mic, the Ryan Hickey Show, Down to the Wire, the Wise Guys, the Sports Hit List, the New York Jets Show, the BS Sports Show, Cajun MMA. So many different products that are going on right now that we have that you can have with our network, and we're growing each and every single day. Don't forget to check out the Weekend Crunch with Errol Marks and former NFL player Eric Coleman every Saturday night. You can check that out. And check us out, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, YouTube. We are on everything. We have our own Twitter page, our own Facebook page, and our phone number. Alex, if you want to repeat that one more time.
727-888-4295.
For sure. We want you to take part in our show. We want you to be a part of it. We know you have opinions because you always message me or message Alex all the time. So message it to us when we're on the show, and then we can bring it up for sure. Alex, have a wonderful rest of your weekend, man. Enjoy. I know the Tampa Bay Lightning had a tough loss yesterday to the Islanders. So, listen, it's okay. They'll bounce back. I know Arrow's probably going to cut my time now because I said that, but that's too bad. I still say Lightning in 6. It is what it is and everything like that. Take care. Have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good one. You're listening and watching us on Off the Mat here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.